Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Ayana of Ayana Enters the Chat. And right now, as I promised, I'm bringing you reasons why Larry is unhappy. Well, more importantly, 10 reasons why Larry is still unhappy after having divorced Sharra all those years ago. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to get into it. First, a little recap from the video I did yesterday. Let's go.
A little disagreement out here. What's that all about?
Bethany being Bethany.
And you being you.
Listen, it's neither here nor there. With all this mess going on, how is your mental?
It has its good days and bad days, to be honest. I mean, some days I'm okay, some days I just feel like I just want to drive away somewhere.
Really?
Yeah. It's hard. I just want to be happy. I mean, is that too much to ask for?
I mean, it's kind of hard doing that here in this house. I mean, how is it living here with?
Okay, so in this moment, Larry is now revealed he just wants to be happy. Like, is that too much for me to ask for? Just to be happy. And Sharra is like, well, you're living in this house and there's all kind of stuff going on. Well, we all know whoever watches this, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. If you don't watch, this is your first time. Larry and Bethany always have stuff going on. Bethany has been dragging Larry into stuff ever since she joined the KW Skitiverse, right? So ever since she joined Kountry Wayne, their storyline at some point introduced Larry, and he's been fighting battles and dealing with all kinds of toxicity from his wife. But he's chosen to say this to his ex-wife, and I pause here because he's about to say something very key to her. Let's listen.
Her with, I mean, all the viral videos, the HOA coming over here and y'all doing stuff out here, and I don't know, and in the court, the kids. I mean, Brooke, tell me everything.
Sure, it ain't just that. It's everything. I mean, even when Brooke was a little girl, 2008 when she was born, I left in 2009 going to Iraq. I'm dealing with that stuff over here, and I come back and I'm dealing with you being, me being gone and me and you fussing, and it took a toll on me, and I try to hide as best I can, but sometimes I can't, and I just want to be happy. That's it.
I mean, I hate that you're like this, Larry. I do, because you wasn't like that when you and I were together.
It started, I mean, our back and forth bickering and stuff, our divorce, that bothered me. I mean, I never told you that, but it bothered me a lot that my family got broken apart.
Boom, there it is. So now, Larry has made it very clear to us, the viewers, and to his ex-wife that his unhappiness actually started when they were going through their stuff and when they divorced. But we know right now they divorced when Brooke was young. Larry has now been married to Bethany for 7 years. So why is it that after all these years, let's say they were divorced at least 9 years, then he met and married Bethany at some point. Why is it after all these years of them not being together that we're finding out now, or that he's sharing now, that he hasn't been happy the entire time? Why hasn't Larry found happiness in all these years? Well, your girl has 10 reasons why Larry is still unhappy after divorcing Sharra. And I'm going to reference some skits for y'all to go back and take a look at. Okay. But the very first reason, number one, Larry lives in denial. What is he in denial about? The biggest thing is he's in denial about his feelings for his current wife and why he really married her. What caused Larry to marry her? Some other things that Larry is in denial about is about just how toxic his relationship is. He's in denial. We saw that in the skit with Lynette when he was telling Lynette Bethany wants to come to the birthing of our grandchild, and she does not want her there, and he's in denial about Bethany and just the junk that she's gonna start. He was in denial about Thanksgiving. thinking that he was going to be able to have Sharra over and Bethany was not going to cut the fool. He was in denial about there's so countless things that Larry has been in denial about, that if he would just open his eyes to the truth and stop denying it, then maybe he will have some modicum of happiness and peace, because then he can address it. Okay. Even his friend told him when he was going to New Orleans to see his family, they hadn't seen Brooke in 8 years since she was a little girl. Last time they saw Bethany was when her and Larry were getting married. But his best friend told him that it was not going to go well. And it did not. Bethany went in there acting stink. Yeah, she had a really wonderful time on Bourbon Street. But aside from that, she was acting stink. So he's in denial about a lot of stuff. He's even in denial about her racism and the things she says towards Brooke. He's in denial about a lot of stuff. That's one of the reasons why he's unhappy. Number 2, he ignores red flags and warnings from others. That's going back to Lynette. Sharra has warned him about some things. Sharra warned him about Bethany and him having bought Sharra that couch. She told Bethany not gonna like this, don't buy this couch, but he went and bought it anyway. He's been warned about other things with regard to Bethany, not taking her on trips, not putting her in check. Lynette and Sharra both together warned him and told him, you take stuff off of her, you don't take off of us, and you really need to get that together, dude. So he's ignored that stuff, right? Okay. Number 3, and this is pretty big. He chose to allow a narcissist and a racist to help raise his daughter after him and Sharra split up. I'm going to say it again. He chose to allow a narcissist and racist to raise his daughter. He knows that Bethany says some pretty nasty things around his daughter, to his daughter, and about his daughter, in her presence and out of her presence. When Bethany had that viral video when she called out those little girls nappy-headed, and those girls were around Brooke's age, for a little black girl, once you call her nappy-headed, you're calling, you may not be calling her nappy-headed, but you're calling people near her age and in her peer group, whether they were bullying her or not, nappy-headed. It's essentially calling her that as well. So if you're saying this about them and their little black girls, what are you saying about me? He's allowed her to call his daughter trashy in Brooke's presence and in out of Brooke's presence. There's skits for that as well. He chooses toxicity daily. Bethany is full of toxicity. That's number 4. She is fully toxic. There's nothing around. When Greg comes to the house, she's toxic, even before the fight. She says nasty things about people. That is toxicity. She spins up and blows up, and he continues to choose that. He chooses that. So in essence, he's choosing his own unhappiness. Number 5, he chose to remarry before he healed. And that's going to go with number 8, which is now my number 6. He repeatedly chooses to trauma bond with Bethany. So it is our theory and my belief that Larry and Bethany were together based off of a trauma bond. He told his friend that Bethany was there when he was in a really dark place after he split up from Sharra. So he embraced Bethany. Bethany knew how to play on him, and he chose that trauma bond. Okay? He chose, and with that, choosing that trauma bond, he chose to remarry before he'd even dealt with his feelings about Sharra. Bethany felt good. She made him feel like a king. She knew how to stroke his ego, and he chose her. And in choosing her, he didn't realize how toxic and how messy their relationship would really be. So thereby choosing his unhappiness, or at least setting the stage for it. Let's go back to repeatedly choosing the trauma bond with Bethany as our number 6. What happened is, and we saw this in particular, when Larry got so sick of Bethany at Thanksgiving, and he left and said he was leaving, and he was gone those days. He had so much peace. He was trying to hang with Sharra and Duchess and Brooke and Destiny and all of that, even Pernell. When Destiny called herself, tried to put hands on him, that was a piece of trauma that triggered him. And I would even say it low-key may have triggered his PTSD. Because how dare this girl? I'm trying to help her. And she chooses to put her hands on me. And now, as a man, I'm having restraint to restrain myself from putting my hands on her like I really could if I really was a dirty man. You know what I'm saying? And instead, what he did was he wasn't planning on going back to Bethany then. But in that moment, he grabbed his bag and he went back home. And Bethany took his shoes off. She took his shirt off. She ran his bath water. In that moment of silence, it was the ickiest thing I ever saw because I'm like, I don't like this with them because there's still no chemistry. But he chose to go back to the place of his trauma bonding to seek comfort. He chooses that all the time. Okay. Number 7, he fights the wrong battles as well as picks the wrong times to be confrontational. We can go from the very beginning when he came into the skit. He went taking his glasses off trying to fight Chase. He also went after the Newburgers on some stuff, being confrontational at the wrong time, trying to fight battles that Bethany and wars that Bethany waged herself. And she again lied to him and didn't give him the whole truth. And now he out here looking like a fool. But he chose to fight those wrong battles, and he continues to try to fight those wrong battles to defend his wife. He even told Lynette and Sharra that he wasn't going to sit back and let them jump on his wife. Again, picking the wrong battle. She started with them. They didn't start with her. Okay? Number 7. Oh, this is number 8. This is my number 8 now. Number 8. He embraces disrespect. He chooses to embrace disrespect. At Thanksgiving, Bethany called him everything but a child of God. She called him stupid, and she's called him that before. She embarrassed him and went off on him in front of everybody in the house. He even had offered her the chair, but she chose to cut up really, really bad on Thanksgiving and to disrespect him. She disrespected him as her husband. She disrespected him as the man of that home. She disrespected him as the co-host to their event. She gave him nothing but disrespect, and she talked down to him, and she belittled him in front of all those people, including his own family. She disrespected him when she went to New Orleans and was disrespecting his aunt and his aunt's home and his aunt's cooking. She disrespects him when she calls his child trashy, when she called his family trashy. You're calling my family trashy, you're also calling me trashy. If you call my child trashy, you're calling me trashy because she's an extension of me and her mom. So he embraces disrespect. And that also is adding to his unhappiness. Number 9, he does not demand accountability. He does not demand accountability from Bethany. He demands accountability from Brooke. He tries to demand accountability from Sharra, but Bethany is the one. She can cut up, show out, cut the fool, all of that. The closest he's ever come to demand accountability is when he left. And then he turned around and decided to fall right back into the trauma bond with Bethany. He embraces, he does not demand accountability at all. That is another reason why he is unhappy and has been unhappy all these years. Bethany, he never holds her accountable for anything that she does. There are never any real consequences for the things that she does. The disrespect he shows his daughter, the racist things she says and does, the narcissistic moves that she makes. He never forces her to be accountable for any of that. Number 10, and this goes back to him being to number 1, with him being in denial. He chooses not to own his feelings for Sharra. He has not dealt with those feelings over the years. They split up. That was it. They never had any closure. A divorce does not give a person closure. It closes a chapter, but it does not give the heart and the individual the closure they need so they can truly forgive and move on. Now Sharra is back, and you can even see it when he talks to her. When he and Sharra have a disagreement over when he and Bethany has a disagreement, the things that he does and the things that he says and the actions. He went off on Sharra so bad the other night in that one skit, right? He came out of the house yelling at her and all of that. She got his goat. The reason why she get his goat is because he's in love with her still. He refuses to accept that. Bethany sees it and knows it. Even Brooke and Destiny can tell he still loves Sharra. He hides behind the fact that he does things for Sharra. He uses Brooke as his shield. But what, excuse me, but what is he going to do when that shield is no longer there? Larry's unhappiness is a thing of his own making. Sharra is not the reason for his unhappiness. He just got stuck in a loop of unhappiness and tried to do things that would pacify him. And Bethany was his biggest pacifier. But now Bethany is not satisfying it because he remembers the peace that he had and the happiness he had when his quote unquote real family was together. And until Larry addresses these 10 things on my little list here, Larry is going to continue to be unhappy. He is the author of his happiness. He has to choose to be happy. He has to define what his happiness looks like. And if anybody or anything doesn't sit and fit in his mold of happiness, they have to go. And the biggest person in his life right now, and I'm not talking about her size, but the biggest obstacle to his happiness right now is him and not resolving the issue with Bethany and resolving the issue with Sharra. That's why we have those 10 things. I can go on and list a whole bunch more. Y'all, chat club watchers, let me know what y'all think after having watched this character and having seen his this felt like real raw emotion right here. But what do you think? Do you think I'm hitting the nail on the head? Do you think these 10 things might be the real deal reason as you think about the skits that you've gone through watching with Larry? All right, y'all. I'm gonna go now. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Let's chat about it. And while we're chatting about it, don't forget to be about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until the next skit, peace and a whole bunch of happy grease. Happy hair grease. That's what we want.